Are available. You know, I'll even so there. I'll take these little
Oh, thank you. Can you step me through this real quick? Can you just step me through it real quick?
No, I sure can. Okay, we got our Health Pro Plus. We have, or the Health Pro Plus model is our pre-filter. Okay, right in this. That's got a typical lifespan of 18 months.
So the pre-filter's on the bottom.
On the bottom, and it's sucking through. Okay? We have no leakage because on the bottom here we have a knife edge seal. And you'll be able to feel it right here under each of the filters. It's a knife edge seal. You can feel that, which actually locks the system down and makes sure all of the air is actually flowing through the system. Okay, so you have 100% all air going through the system and no air leakage. Okay? You probably can see right inside underneath here. Once you guys pull one apart, you'll be able to see it firsthand. You have our new red label fan, which is a new design. It's insulated and it's 32% quieter than the old editions. And it's also a lot more powerful as well, so you have a lot more airflow. We used to only be able to do 900 square feet, now we're up to 1,125 square feet.
1,125 square feet, that's awesome.
Yes, it's 1,100 square feet now in the new edition. The air now will travel through our V5, which is your activated carbon and impregnated alumina. It's going to get things such as formaldehyde, which is the big new term now, because a lot of things are going overseas, or the way they're being packaged is releasing a formaldehyde smell, which is also from secondhand smoke, is a form of formaldehyde. So whatever the activated carbon cannot get as far as smells, but that also will help with urine smells, pet odors, it'll help with food odors, secondhand smoke as well. Okay, on the light side.
That's a lot of carbon in there.
Yes, it is. And when you guys pull it out, you actually feel 5 pounds of that. And a lot of times what we like to do for end users is say, hey, feel that, because it's a lot more proof in the pudding when they touch it. Then your last form of filtration is going to be your Hepa technology. It's patented. We're the only company that can prove a 99.5% down to 0.003 microns, which are your deadliest particles. That's 100 times smaller than any other company can provide in normal Hepa technology. So these are your deadliest bacteria, some of the ultrafine particles that can even go through your lungs and into your bloodstream.
I just want to point out, like, the thickness on this is incredible.
It's very dense.
That's like 3 to 4 times as thick as what you'll see.
And they're normal textile. And even with the carbon, sometimes you see a thin layer of carbon this big in a lot of them. So yes, when you guys are selling it, it is a more expensive product, but at the same time, you're getting the best product on the market.
I mean, the pre-filter alone.
And again, you're getting 18 months filter life on a normal speed of 3, a normal usage. You're getting 2 years on your V5, and you're getting 4 years on your Hepa.
So, on the first one again, how many years?
18 months.
18 months.
And that's dealing with the most coarse particles. So it tends to get dirty. Another thing you guys might want to tell your customers, they can absolutely feel free to tip the entire system over, and they can actually get a vacuum hose and clean out the bottom of it, especially if they have a lot of pets.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, because that's going to suck up a lot of the pet hair. Now, it will help the efficiency. It won't so much help the efficiency and airflow, but it can help the filter life a little bit. So you can actually tilt it and clean the bottom, because that is the filter right there.
Yeah, okay.
So you can actually get a little hose. Sometimes we recommend get a little hose and go ahead and just vacuum it very lightly.
So that's probably going to have the bulk of the hair and
yeah, that's your big heavy stuff. Is it? That's your most of your heavier particles. That's what's the first form. Then it goes through your odors, and then your last form is your Hepa. And if you were to put a particle scan on that, you will always read as 0 at 0.3 microns.
I mean, I just don't see how anything can actually get through all of that.
This is the problem. A lot of companies will say our fans are 500 CMFs or CFMs, and they're just saying what the speed can do, or the fan can do, not the efficiency of it. Just a fan, period. Well, our fan is actually 720, but we don't tell people that. We actually tell it as it comes out here. So this is 300 coming out of the system.
So all the exhaust is going to be coming out of these. These
320 degrees.
So what else is cool about that? I mean, pulling it in from the bottom, exiting from the top. It's not reversed, so you don't get you get a better dispersion of the air.
And plus a lot of them just will have one vent area. This actually has 320 degrees all the way around. And then in the control panel, as you guys are aware, it has a timer on it. It has 6 speeds. So if they're having really bad odors or really bad dust day, they can crank this up and get more efficiency. But it has 3 speeds, or 3 of your Premax, your V5, and your Hepa. All these in the system will go ahead and, based on usage, will tell you when you need to change it. So you have green, it'll go to orange. It'll go to red when you need to change it, and it'll really knock you over the head with blinking red when it's past due. And then once you put a new filter in there, you can reset it, and it will keep track when you need to change it again.
So you don't have to actually know when to change it or remember.
Absolutely not.
It could be years.
Well, if it's no usage, it's based on usage time. So if you use it a lot faster and you have it going 24 hours a day, then yes, this will speed up. But on a normal, it will track the hours based on filter life.
That's good because the filters are expensive. So
absolutely, and a lot of people forget it. You know,
it's nice to have that so that it's kind of maintaining that for you without.
It also could be programmed to turn on when you get home, turn off when you leave. It also comes with a remote as well.
Yeah. And I guess it comes.
This one actually won't do it, but I can show you another one. And what you would do, you simply show you on another unit. Yeah, I can show you on this one. Go ahead and just turn this on for a second.
This is the compact.
This is the compact, but I'm just going to show you how easy it is to open. Because she's actually working with one right now. Okay. You simply just grab the two edges. Give it a little yank. Make sure the doors click. You'll see that clicking effect right there. And lift.
And there
you can break down each filter. Yep, you can break down each filter.
That's great.
And that's your Hyper Hepa. Now, on this model, obviously, this is compact, so you would have your V5 right there. And there's your fan, obviously, which is still spinning as it's going.
Yeah, so the compact doesn't have the gas cell, which
doesn't have a gas cell.
Odors and all that.
Yeah, odors. A lot of times we see these like in babies' rooms because they just want a little bit smaller size. But the unfortunate thing about this, it can't be upgradable either.
Okay.
Yeah, so this model will never carry the V5, which is the odors and gases. Okay, and then you have your pre-filter underneath. What's nice about the pre-filter, and you just give it a little lift, and slide out like a drawer.
Wow.
Yeah, it's very simple. You just want to make sure the doors are in an open clip position. And just the same, so you just remove the clips, you would flip it over and let gravity do its work. You don't need to yank it out by this, just flip it over, push it out, and it will slide it right on out. And when you show customers how to actually break it down and they see the innards of it, I think it's a lot more of a selling point. Because what you do is you hand them that V5 and say, fill that.
Right.
It's 5 pounds of medium. So
that's a lot of carbon.
Yeah, it's a lot of carbon. Go ahead and filter it right back in. Okay. Of course, then you put your V5 on top if you had the Health Pro Plus. Set that right back in. And again, you got your diffuser, 320 degrees of dispersion, more coverage area. Slide right back in, give it a little pop, ready to rock.
And those things completely lock and seal themselves.
Lock and seal themselves. And plus with that knife edge seal, it locks in. You can turn it back on. Okay, let it warm back up. And I'll go ahead and get the particle scan and show you. So I broke down the whole thing for you guys on there, and we'll still get So right now we're running around 81,000, 71,000. We've had these things running in this little area for so long. 89,000 we're picking up. One thing I like to do, just for the show of reference, especially if you guys are selling vacuums, do one of these things.
Wow.
Yeah, I got almost 1.something million at one point. There it goes, 400,000.
Just ruffling the carpet brings it up that much.
705,000. You see how fast it went up?
Yeah.
Then we stick it by our machine.
No, I didn't see it. I think
0.
Oh, okay.
I'm sure I got that. That's unbelievable.
It's unbelievable. And that also works with your guys' Milas as well. Mila does the same claim as far as what's being dispersed out of its vacuums.
Out of the exhaust.
Yeah, out of the exhaust. So it's a real good tie-in and a very good bundling system. If you were to bundle a Mila, because someone that has those kind of concerns, allergies, asthmas, and buying a Mila, obviously they're buying it for a reason. So a really good transition into, okay, you got the number one vacuum for allergies and asthmas. Let me show you what the best air purifier can do.
It's fantastic.
Yeah.
I mean, without a doubt, this is the best air purifier on the market.
Absolutely. And, we never knock our competition. It's apples and oranges, though. And a lot of systems, a lot say they have the Hepa technology, or the Hepa technology, and they do. A lot of leakage problems, but none of them can prove what we can.
Yeah, I mean, I've looked at a lot of Hepa air purifiers and that type of stuff. You'll see some really good. They'll have some big filters, but nobody has it stacked like IQAir does, especially with the bottom.
Yeah.
intake, the upper exhaust like that,
Absolutely.
forces everything through.
Everything has been so thought out in the last. I mean, they've been working on this technology for 40 years as a family. Our owner's still walking around the office testing things. I mean, his brain is going 100 miles an hour, always trying to look at improvements and looking at certain tests that we can do to prove that the technology is there. And it produces absolutely no ozone, which is now the big key word. Like ionization creates ozone. It's a really no-no. All you're doing is charging particles and forcing them to stick to things. And you're supposed to go and clean it. Well, that charged particle, when you breathe it in, it's sticking to your lungs.
Yeah, when I learned about ionization,
Well, at the time it was a hot toy,
Yeah.
And on a private, I lost my mom to lung cancer 6 years ago, and at the time we were running around trying to find air purification, and we saw one of those ionization things. We bought it. But now, my mom never smoked or drank a day in her life, so we never knew how she ended up with lung cancer. The state of California has banned them, ionization products, because now they're saying it's actually harmful. So it could have actually been a form of ionization sticking to our lungs that could have caused damage, because you're almost generating them to connect into your lungs. So there's a lot of class action lawsuits about it now.
I actually pulled all of the products that I had that did those. We don't
Create
use
ozone.
them.
Yeah.
And I stay away from them as much as possible.
Yeah.
I mean, it's if you do ozone, you got to clear a room out for 24 hours. They tell you not to be in there. So if you're going to use ozone to actually clear a room,
Really? I haven't heard that.
Yeah.
So.